Hi there, this is Jeannie Spiro of JeannieSpiro.com. You're here with me as I'm about to go out for the day, but I wanted to record a video today to talk to you about your webinars and some of the benefits of hosting webinars, but also I want to talk to you about planning a really good webinar. So I put together some notes for you, which I'm going to share with you today. And one of the things that I wanted to discuss with you first is why webinars? So why would webinars be a really good idea for you? So webinars are a fantastic idea for you for your business growth. And the reason why I think they're so beneficial is because you can reach people no matter where you are and wherever they are. So it doesn't matter. Location is not a factor. And when I was first starting to grow my business, one of the things that I found really helpful about doing webinars was that I couldn't get to networking events. I couldn't go to places. I was in a location. I still live in a location that's a little bit more remote. And so it wasn't easy for me to get out. So webinars provided an opportunity for me to reach people no matter where I was and no matter where they were. The other thing that's great about webinars is that they allow you to be able to show not only your knowledge by you speaking it, but also by them being able to visually see it. So either in a PowerPoint or a Keynote or Google Slides presentation, and or you having the camera strictly on you and you delivering the content, kind of like in a video. So what we know is that videos typically have a much higher success rate, and webinars actually have a higher conversion rate typically than teleseminars. So that's why I like to use webinars more so than teleseminars these days. But I'm not going to say that if you're not just starting out, doing a teleseminar is a really, really good idea. And I did those for years in my business before I moved over to webinars. Webinars are a little bit more techy. So what you need to know with webinars is there's some planning that goes into them. So today I want to talk to you more about planning a really good webinar and what goes into it and some of the things that you need to have. So I wrote some notes, which I'm going to just refer to here for you. So the first thing you want to know is that you want to make sure that you treat your webinar as a project. It's basically, the first time you do it, it's an unknown factor for you. There's a lot of components to it that you might not have done before. So for you, it's there's some moving parts to it, right? So there's the design of the webinar. There's the promotion of the webinar. There's being on the actual webinar itself. There's the content that you write to invite people, right? So the copy, both for the marketing purposes and also for the follow-up sequence, right? So after you might have made an offer, what are you going to do for copy on the back end? So there's a lot of little parts to it. There's also, really looking at it like a good way to do it is if you put it into a plan, right? Like if you put it into, these are all the components, and you put it into something like I like to use Trello. That works really well for me, but some other people like to have it all written out on like a whiteboard, and these are all the things that I need to do when I'm planning out my webinar. So that will really help you with making it successful. The second thing is you want to think about the purpose of your webinar. And I like to use webinars for attracting and converting clients. And so I also use them for a variety of other things as well, selling my courses, inviting people to come to my workshops and my events, but really also for attracting and converting clients. And I want to go a little bit deeply into this for a second, because one of the things that I know that a lot of people struggle with is, how do I sell? How do I close? How do I convert? So the idea of your webinar is you want to think about, what is going to be the promise? What is it that you're promising to do on your webinar? What is it that you're promising to provide that handles the problem or addresses the problem that your clients are facing? Now, there's multiple levels to this, and I always like to think of it this way. And I say this over and over and over again to my clients and also in my marketing, but if you are marketing to something that is not really a presenting problem, if you are doing a webinar around something that is not addressing someone's problem, then you're really not going to see the conversions. So what you need to make sure in all of your marketing and all of your webinars and all that you're doing and everything, you're always speaking to the problem and providing a solution on your webinar or whatever it is you're doing. So you want to look at what is the promise? So what is the promise that your webinar is going to provide? The next thing is multiple parts, and it's the platform. So the platform is where are you going to host your webinar? So you need to think about where you're going to host it. So what type of webinar platform are you going to use? The next thing you want to look at is, what is the registration page? What's the platform for the registration and thank you page that you're going to use? And the next component is the mailing. So you're going to be doing some mailing to these individuals as well. So you want to make sure that you have a good a mailing list set up, and you have a newsletter list and all that kind of set up. So let's now talk about the next component, which is the promotion. So the promotion is, what are you going to do to promote this webinar? So there's a variety of ways you can do it, but you need to have a promotion strategy. So are you going to email? Are you going to be using social media? Are you going to be using ads? Are you going to joint venture with someone, in which case you don't necessarily need to do ads? So what you want to think about is setting this up and putting it together as a plan, right, as a project, I should say, and mapping out all of the components will help you have more success on your webinar. And in a future webinar, future video, I'll talk more about webinar marketing and how to, put together a really good webinar. But for now, what I'd love to know is, from you, what is it that's stopping you from doing a webinar? Or what is a challenge for you with hosting a webinar when it comes to the planning and creating process and all of that? Let me know in the comments below what's up with that for you. And keep watching for more videos. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.